Hey guys, Sam here. Today is October the 13th, 2017. It's Friday, but I'm off of work today. I had to take a holiday, what they give us, an extra holiday, and you got to use it up before the end of the month. So anyways, what we're looking at here today is a shock tower Crossmember connector for the rear frame of the 64 Impala. This piece here I ordered online, and I will put a link to the video. It is a very good quality piece. It's made out of steel, or I'm not sure exactly the material, but anyways, it's very solid piece, and it is handcrafted, made in the USA by Black Sheep Customs. I will put a link to his channel, and I'll put a link to where I bought this too. So today we're going to install this piece and connect the rear part of the Impala where it has an empty space where the shocks go. Light in here, and it's going to be kind of hard to get the camera up in here, but we'll work something out. But if you notice that piece right over there is where the shock mounts, and then up here, and so that from there to there it's an open space. So you would think that they would have connected that together from the factory. I mean, I don't know why they didn't or what, but I mean, I think it's a good idea to go ahead and connect that. I think it gives it a bit more solid when you mount your shocks there. As soon as I get set up, the camera set up, I'm gonna have to, it's going to be at a weird angle because, like I said, I'm having to work under here, and it's going to be kind of a tight spot to try to put this in and get a good video of it. But we'll try our best to do that while we install this little Crossmember. It comes just like this, painted already. He packaged it well in the box there. Sent with some set of bolts there. I don't know if I'm going to use those bolts, but I do have the shocks that go with it, or that I'm going to install, and so I got a set of bolts to go up on here on top. But looks like we got two bolts on each end, one in the center, so we'll probably use that center bolt to hold that on there. So alright guys, when I get set up and get ready to put this in, I'll bring you guys back. Alright, thanks for watching. Okay guys, I've got the camera set up here. Probably the best angle I can get. So we'll go ahead and install this shock tower Crossmember. Oh, look at there, it slides right in. So perfect fit. Just hammer this in a loop. It just makes sense to go ahead and connect that together, and it makes it what am I trying to say, makes it look like it's finished. Like it's not something left there. Alright guys, let me get a shock, and then put one here, and then maybe get this bolted in there. We do have that center bolt. Let me get that center bolt, so hang on. Trying to make sure I'm not cross-threading this. I guess I could put the bolt from the bottom, but I went ahead and do it from the top. Use a little bit more this way. Get a screwdriver or something. Okay, let me get a ratchet and kind of snug that up a little bit. All right. Let me get a. You labeled these here to. So this side goes on the driver's side because it has a little bit of an angle to the bracket itself, or the cross member. Oh. And let me get a shock. And I do need to go buy me some anti-seize compound, or whatever you want to call it, for some of these bolts. Carrie had suggested that. I'm not even ever think about that, you know. Trying to get that little, see if the camera picks it up, that metal sleeve that goes in between the okay. Let's see here. Well guys, that ain't gonna work. That metal sleeve will not go. This here will not fit over the shock bolt that's down here at the bottom. It is the same size, so now I gotta remove it and put you guys on pause. Alright guys, I've got that shock on the other side kind of lined up. Had to jack up the drive line a little bit. Well, the bolts that came with the shock are not going to work because they're too big. They won't fit over even the holes that were the original holes on the piece up here. Alright, those bolts ain't long enough, so maybe after I tighten it down a little bit. No, it's hitting down the metal up here. Well, we know those bolts will line up, so, and the bolt holes, so I'll go ahead and tighten this center bolt. We'll get it tight, and then I'll just have to get some longer bolts. But these are probably I'd either have to drill them holes out larger, but these bolts is what came with the shock. They're long enough, but they're a little bit too big here. It won't fit in my holes. So it would either be drill out the holes or get some smaller bolts. This size of bolt here, but a little bit longer. So we will stop there, and then when I get some longer bolts, we'll continue with the install. Alright guys, I'm going to put you on pause, and then we'll get some longer bolts to install these shock onto there. But basically it's a pretty straightforward install on this Crossmember. It fit perfect. I mean, just getting the bolt holes aligned didn't take very much to do that. So I will put you guys on pause, and I'm gonna have to go run and get some longer bolts. Okay guys, I'm back. I've got some longer bolts. Went ahead and got some grade 8 bolts, 1 1/4 long, and so I put some anti-seize lubricant on it. I don't know if you see it, Primatex. So now we'll just attempt to get this shock here bolted up. The 2 bolts are on now. Well, I think the 1-inch bolts would have been long enough. It's just getting it started and getting it tightened up there. But anyways, that's the way it's going to stay. So it's a good deal. So if I can get this other side tight, I am having a heck of a time getting this one here. My ratchet wrench won't go over this nut for some reason on top. Got a ratchet on this end, but it must be too close to the frame. It's not fitting over. So my ratchet wrench won't fit on that nut. And you get a longer extension. Okay guys, that's that shock. It's really not that difficult to install the shock tower Crossmember, but it is pretty difficult to install that shock to get my wrenches up in there. And so let me get you on pause and back up this camera, and we'll do this other one here. Alright guys, gotta keep watching my head. So we'll put a little bit of grease here. just to help it slide in. Alright guys, that pretty much concludes the installation of that shock tower Crossmember. Keep having to try to think what it's called. But yeah, I'm going to put a link to Black Sheep Customs. Go by and check it out. He sells them on eBay, so I will put a link on my channel so you can click on it. And for any of you guys that have the 64 Impala, this thing would bolt right up, as you've seen it in the video. Didn't have any trouble to get it to fit. It slid right in. Just line up the holes and you're good to go. The only trouble I had, and this is my fault, is because I was trying to put the shocks in, and it's a pretty tight spot since I already got the gas tank in and everything else in the way. Probably would have been a whole lot easier if I didn't have the gas tank in, where I could stick my body up in here, and would have been a lot easier. But other than that, the thing is made. Well, not the thing, but the shock tower Crossmember is made. He makes them handmade, custom made, and made in the USA and good quality, as you've seen. And it completes the look of the car there. When someone looks under it, it just makes it, to me, makes it complete by it being tied together there. It just gives it a better look. Having a piece, it looks like you have a piece missing there, even though that's the way it came from the factory. Well, let me get this camera off the tripod. I'll give you guys an overall view. It's kind of difficult to get the camera up in here, but you guys get the picture. Ties up in there. I'm gonna have to raise this drive line just a little bit more, put some blocks under it so it doesn't, when I let it down, it's just not resting on the, pulling on the shocks. Alright guys, thanks for subscribing, thanks for all your comments, all your suggestions. Everybody's always got good comments and good suggestions, so see you guys on the next one.